we go back to my favorite action film series. Yes, it's my favorite. Deal with it. Now, what are we to expect in the 11th film? And yes, there will be an 11th film. A few months ago, Vin Diesel confirmed that the 11th film will be released in April of 2025. I haven't seen an exact date yet, but that's just when it's to be expected. You know, I'm kind of impatient for it because like I said, I really, really like this series, so I'm hoping it gets, you know, released even sooner. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Got to just wait for it. So, this is according to Screen Rant, one of my favorite websites when it comes to breaking down shows and movies, along with things like Common Sense Media, things of that nature. So it says right here, this movie will bring high quality special effects, stunts, explosions, and crazy car moments just like the rest of the franchise. Okay, I think that part is obvious. Let's get to the 10 bullet points here. Number 10, Fast 11 will go all in with special effects and amazing stunts. The franchise is famous for its over-the-top action scenes, which I know a lot of people who are picky who have criticized a lot of those scenes. You know, hey, the cars jumping from one building to another, and of course the outer space one was a little bit sillier, but hey, nevertheless, the movie was still enjoyable. As far as the helicopters chasing Dom on the highway, helicopters latch the ropes on the side. I mean, all type of crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense in real life, but hey, it's a movie, it's there for entertainment, and I enjoy watching it. It's a good thrill. So, the Fast saga has built a name for itself for its impossible stunts and gravity-defying car scenes, and Fast 11 won't disappoint in that area, and it will bring high-quality, impossible-to-believe special effects, stunts, explosions, and crazy car moments. Yes, just how I like it, just what I'm looking for. Fast X brought the franchise back to basics with a race involving Dom and Dante, but it also had him jumping off planes and bridges, and with the dam exploding in the last minutes of the film, Fast 11 will have plenty of intense moments. They better. They very much better. With director Louis, I still don't know this last name. Is it Leterrier? It sounds like that's it. Leterrier. No, Leterrier sounds better. I'm just going to go with that for now. With director Louis Leterrier returning, who prioritized practical effects and real stunts in Fast X, the audience can expect similar action in the 11th film too. Number 9, a new exciting cameo must happen in Fast 11. The Fast and Furious franchise has been going on for over two decades, and it had many cameos over the years, including Rita Ora, Cardi B, Iggy Azalea, and more. Aside from its regular cast, Fast X had many big cameos, including Paul Walker's daughter, Meadow, as flight attendant helping Jacob. Hollywood legend Rita Moreno, who played Mia and Dom's grandmother, and Pete Davidson, who helped Tej, Ramsey, Han, and Roman at a computer store, before reporting them to the authorities. It's exciting to find out whether Fast 11 will continue the tradition with more big, unexpected names. Number 8, Giselle's return. Now, I think this one is going to be more interesting. She appeared in the final scenes of Fast X. Gal Gadot's character Giselle appeared to have died at the end of 2009's Fast and Furious, which, by the way, I believe that was that the 5th film that she supposedly died in, or the 6th one? It was the 5th or 6th one. The first film, okay, I don't have time to do that right now, but it was the 5th or 6th film. Appeared to have died at the end of 2009's Fast and Furious, where she fell to her death after saving Han, but made her return in X. No death in the Fast and Furious franchise is ever final, and the saga has retconned many deaths so far, including Giselle's lovers, Han. Since there was never a body, there could be an explanation for Giselle's return. The next movie will likely also explain how Giselle appeared on top of a submarine rescuing Cypher and Letty from the agency's prison in Antarctica, as well as why she was working with the villain. Yeah, that has to be explained. That has to be. And again, I really hope that all these things right here, I'm more excited about some of these things than others. I'll go over the basic bullet points again before, without going into the whole paragraph. But number 7, Eva Mendes's Monica and more characters could return to the 11th movie. Eva Mendes her last appearance was in Fast Five's post-credit scene. Okay, for some reason I can't remember that off top. I have to watch. I plan on rewatching all the movies again anyway, so once I review all of them, I'll do the video reviews one by one. A post-credit scene from Fast Five showed Eva Mendes' character, Monica Fuentes, and it could set up her return in Fast 11. Monica was a big character in the second movie, but except for her short cameo, she never returned to the franchise. Giving Dante Reyes' revenge on everyone from Fast Five, including Dom's family and The Rock's Hobbs, that means Mendes's Monica could also return to the 11th movie, and she's not the only one with a way in. Besides Eva Mendes' character Monica, other missing characters could return to the 11th film. Deckard Shaw's brother, Owen Shaw, Luke Evans, created havoc in Fast and Furious 6. It could make a comeback in the 11th film, given that Dante is threatening his mother. Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell, was missing in Fast X, and the audience could expect him to show up again. Jacob Toretto's fate seemed final in Fast X, but no death is final in Fast and Furious. But since no death in this franchise is final, John Cena's Jacob could also come back. And I'll be honest with you, that I actually had that in mind after I saw the movie. I said, at first I thought he did die, but then I remembered Fast 5 or 6, whichever the one where Gal Gadot's character died. I remember seeing that, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. She just appeared at the end of Fast X, so she survived. Well, maybe it's possible that Jacob survived. Now, it's possible. It's possible he probably could have died. You never know. It's possible. Number 6. Explain how Dom's family survived the plane crash. Yes, that's another big one that I really, really want to know. Fast X ended with a major cliffhanger that showed Dominic's crew's plane exploding. But it is incredibly unlikely that they all died in that crash. Although the last film didn't hint at their comeback, given the finale's sense of urgency, Fast 11 will surely bring them back and have an explanation about how they survived. They either had parachutes or a car they could drive off the plane's ramp, or another explanation to bring back Tej, Roman, Ramsey, and Han. Yeah, because at the end of that, I was like, wait a minute. I said, this could work in a few different ways. It's possible that one of them could die and the rest survive. Maybe it's possible that one of them survives and the rest dies. Who knows who that one could be? Like I said, it could be Tej, it could be Roman, it could be Ramsey, it could be Han. I mean, any of them. With this, you never know. Worst case scenario, they all die. Best case scenario, they all survive. And middle case scenario, if that's the word, you could say the middle scenario in the middle would be some died, some survived, or one might be in a condition. You never know. Who knows what happened? Number 5, Fast 11 needs to defeat Cypher once and for all. Cypher cannot become a hero. Yeah, you got to watch out for her, especially after what she did. And I'm about to get into that here. Cypher came back in Fast X and struck an unlikely alliance with Letty and Giselle for their survival, but Fast X needs to defeat her once and for all. Director Louis Leterrier revealed there are 11 Fast and Furious clues for the sequel in Fast X, and one of them involves Cypher's conversation with Dom and Letty at the beginning of the film. She will likely betray them again, although they could begin working together towards a common goal, as Dante also crossed Cypher. Because of that, Dom and his team need to defeat Cypher and make her pay for her crimes, as she can't become a hero after killing Elena. Now, who is Elena? Elena is the mother of Dom's son, Little B. So that's his biological mother, and the biological mother of the kid. So she was shot and killed by Cypher, who's played by Charlize Theron. And that was in the 8th film, The Fate of the Furious. And this was at the time when Letty didn't know that Dom had a kid. And I'm pretty sure she learned that at the end of that movie. Yeah, that was that. And so after all that, and I can tell you right now, you can, if you watch Fast X, I'm sure all the fans have seen it, but in case you haven't, I'm telling you, when Cypher shows up in Fast X, and I'm not going to spoil too much of it for those of you who haven't seen it, but I mean, of course, some stuff in here was already spoiled, so I don't know what I'm talking about. The point is, when Cypher showed up in Fast X, you can see the look on Dom and Letty's face. They absolutely hate that woman's guts. I mean, they wanted to just kill her right then and there. I mean, they were just so ready. Wow. So I have a feeling that she could turn on them again if that's going to be the case, if she's going to be in the next film. So I'm really excited to see that part right there. Number 4, Dom and Letty finding out they are going to have a baby. Dom and Letty are already parents to young Brian. Dom and Letty are the franchise's most iconic couple, and they seemed ready to have a baby of their own on their own in Fast X. The two already successfully parent young Brian, who is Dominic and Elena Neves' son. And at the beginning of Fast X, Dom and Letty seemed ready to become parents together. Given the director's comments about the clues in Fast X, the two might realize they're expecting a baby. That could happen halfway through the movie to give Dom a reason to go on, or maybe as a reveal in the finale, as Fast 11 could end with the traditional barbecue at the Toretto house. Okay, that might be interesting. Number 3, I think this is a little bit more interesting, but not quite as interesting as Giselle's return or, Who Survived the Plane Crash. Number 3, Hobbs and Shaw teaming up again in Fast 11 and set up the highly anticipated sequel. Dwayne Johnson's Hobbs made his return in a post-credit scene in Fast X, which might reunite him with Jason Statham's Deckard Shaw in Fast 11. Jason Statham's character returned halfway through the film, and Dante posed a threat to his mother. Hobbs, who had a big say in Dante's father's death, also received a threatening call, and they could team up. Their mother, I'm sorry, what am I doing? I don't know what's wrong with me right now. I'm off now. Their movie, which served as the first spinoff in the franchise, was successful and granted a sequel that is yet to materialize. Although Hobbs is confirmed to have his own Fast and Furious film, which Fast 11 will probably set up, it could also be the start of the Hobbs and Shaw sequel. Now, I did look at Hobbs and Shaw. The movie came out in 2019. Really great film. Lots of action, really good thrill ride, just like the Fast and Furious movies. I think the movie had a budget of between $250 and $300 million. And the box office was, I think the box office was around $760 million. So, I mean, that's pretty good for a movie like that. Of course, a lot of people are saying, oh, most action films are supposed to get more than that. That was a lesson. You're talking 250 to 750. I mean, you're talking, come on, 3 times as much as the budget. I mean, still, that's good. That's good. Jason Statham, Dwayne Johnson, big stars here. Number 2, Dom's family has to defeat Dante in Fast 11. Another one that I think is pretty obvious. Dante proved to be the franchise's big bad. And Dante is played by Jason Momoa. There is a change in the cards for Dante, but he has to stay a villain, and Dom and his family need to defeat him in the next film. Dante Reyes proved to be a surprising villain, one who is flamboyant, has a lot of sass, and rejects the traditional rules of masculinity and villains, clearly, which proves to be a stark contrast between him and Vin Diesel's Dominic Toretto. Although the director hinted at a change for Momoa's villain, showing new sides of Dante, he needs to continue to be bad and cause havoc, leading to his ultimate defeat. And by the way, because this is Fast and Furious, keep in mind, if they kill him, they better make sure he is killed. Shoot him in the head, toss his body in the river or something like that. If he gets caught in a car crash, he could very well survive it, because we don't know if Jacob survived. So I'm just throwing that out there. And number 1, Fast 11 will pay tribute to Brian O'Connor and Paul Walker, which it says in parentheses there. This could prove to be very challenging. Fast 11 will reportedly honor Brian O'Connor somehow, and also Paul Walker. Vin Diesel confirmed the film will create a proper send-off to the character, who was retired after Walker's tragic death. While Diesel's confirmation hints the audience might get a glimpse of Brian again, it also poses a major challenge for the Fast and Furious franchise. It could be disrespectful and ruin his beautiful, iconic send-off from from the ending of Furious 7. However, seeing how Brian returns in Fast 11 is the most exciting thing about the upcoming installment in the iconic Fast saga. Okay, you know what? With that being said, now I'm stuck between which one is the most interesting between that versus Giselle's return and Who Survived the Plane Crash. Because I'll tell you this. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you. I did not get hooked on Fast and Furious until last year. I really didn't. Before 2023, I didn't care about it. I don't know. I just didn't take the time to watch it. Didn't think about it. Didn't care. I wasn't for it. I wasn't against it. But last year, I watched all the movies. I got hooked when I saw Fast X, and I watched every other film. Now, I bring this up to you because I want to let you know this. So I remember when I was working in the airport in 2015, and that's when Furious 7 came out. And I remember it was a huge movie at the time. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the highest grossing movie that year. Well, no, it couldn't have been because you had Avengers come out that year. I think Age of Ultron came out that year. But anyway, I remember Paul Walker died in late 2013, and people were saying, and I was asking people who watched the movie, I said, well, how did they do this movie without Nate? People were telling me like, hey, they just had his brother step in. And I said, in the middle of production? And they were like, yeah, his brother filled in. The movie still did well. And fast forward some time later, I'm looking at this movie. And I'll tell you, I think Fast and Furious is the only movie franchise that ever did this. It has to be the only one because I have not heard of another one. If anybody knows of another one, please let me know. But Paul Walker tragically died in the middle of the production for this movie. And instead of canceling the whole movie, they just continue it and they just use his brother, who, man, he has two brothers. I think their names are Caleb and Corey, I want to say. I could be wrong on that. I know one brother for sure name is Caleb. And they look exactly like him. And they are lucky that they look exactly like him. And he literally steps in for like the last 10, 20 minutes of the movie, and they do that tribute. And I said, oh my goodness, I can't believe I missed this movie at the time. I can't believe I didn't see this in theaters. Now, that was by far one of the best tributes I've ever seen in any movie or show. And that's why that was the highest grossing movie that they did, that the Fast and Furious franchise ever did. That movie grossed over $1.5 billion? I think the budget on the movie had to have been around 300 million-ish, give or take, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Most of the Fast movies budget around that much anyway. And so I remember asking somebody this. I remember asking somebody like, wait a minute. So with Paul Walker being deceased and his character being in retirement, what if they use his brother to play Brian in some of the future movies? And people were just like, nah, that just seems a little too... It's morbid. It's dark. Like, I don't know. People would think it's disrespectful to Paul Walker. Forget about Paul Ryan. So with this being said right here, it makes me question, well, are they actually going to do that? Now, if they do that, how will most of the fans react? Are they going to get ticked off because they're like, hey, you can't do that because that disrespects Paul? Or will it help the movie, and will it help it gain more money because they see Brian on screen and because his brother looks exactly like him? Both got that wavy blonde hair and same skin tone. The eyes are similar, just everything, body type, it's all the same, like similar. So I don't know. I really wish this movie would come out a lot sooner than April 2025, but we have to wait, and I'm curious to see what this next movie brings. So like I said, those are the 10 bullet points. Special effects and amazing stunts, new exciting cameos, Giselle's return, Eva Mendez's character could return, Who Survived the Plane Crash, they need to defeat Cypher, Dom and Letty's, expecting a baby, Hobbs and Shaw team up again, Dante Reyes needs to be defeated, and tribute to Brian, which is Paul Walker. So, Fast and Furious 11, I'm excited to see it. This movie better be good. It better be good. I cannot wait.